Hello everyone and welcome to the update. I'm Evan Horton. The rebuilding process here at Noonan High School has been coming along very nicely, and recently we got a glimpse into what the finished product is going to look like with the opening of the Mullins Brantley Athletic Training Facility. Today we're going to take a look inside and see the beginning of all of the great promise that our new facility is going to have to offer. This is the Mullins Brantley Athletic Training Facility, which has just been dedicated here at Noonan High's Max Bass Athletic Complex. This state-of-the-art facility is actually a part of the old, newly renovated Max Bass Gym. It allows Noonan High's current athletic trainers, John Wolf and Jordan Kennard, to take care of our student athletes, and it serves as a classroom for athletic training classes. It was opened and dedicated in August as work on the new gym expansion and the rebuilding of classroom facilities here on LaGrange Street continues. This space is also named for two longtime supporters of Noonan High athletics, Harry Mullins and James Brantley. It was a pleasure to talk with them both inside this great facility. So Mr. Mullins, Radar, we are sitting in the Mullins Brantley Athletic Training Facility. Tell me, I want to know from both of you, what does having this beautiful facility being named after you mean to you? Somebody start, and don't argue over who starts.
When I walked in this facility, after they had got the equipment in and got all this done, I immediately turned out, walked back out the door, wiped the tears out of my eyes, and then came back in. Never would I ever dream that this would be named after me and Radar. I am tremendously honored for have my name up there, but to be there with Radar means the world to me.
Yeah. What about you, Radar?
When I walked in, I didn't even notice that. I walked in and the first thing I saw was the recovery room. I could see that. Yeah. And then my wife walked around on the other side and said something. And when I turned to her, it was like, holy cow. Yeah. I mean, I was so shocked and so impressed. And like Harry said, it's just an honor to have something named after you like that. And to be on it with Harry, I couldn't think of a better person in the world to share something with.
Yeah, and I wanted us to start with that moment because I can imagine the emotion. No, I really can't. Let me back up. I can't imagine the emotion that you guys felt first time you walked in here because if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Mullins, you pretty much brought athletic training here back let's just say a long, long time ago. And then you passed the torch to Radar through Coach Bass, and Radar was here. I mean, this is your life's work, both of you. Somebody take it and tell me. I mean, that emotion that comes from your life's work being your name on a building. Wow.
And when I came here, as you know, in '74, there was no facilities. And when we shared the conversation, Max, what do you have? He said, nothing. And he was right. You know, the one little kit's all they had. And as I told you before, you know, I spent 3 days here in this community, visiting people, going around the court square and everything. And then I realized this is a great community to live in. People want to get along. And I told Max and I told my oldest brother, Leroy, was that they had, you know, was in Southeastern Conference athletic trainer for years and years. He said, why do you want to go there? And the first thing was, if I can do anything to help make this program successful, I can be successful at anything I want to do. And the second one is I want to live here. It's a great community. But to see it evolve from the day one when we built that put the wall up in the old dressing room, went around the community and got people to donate things and to build the training room, and then to go from there to where Radar was in this other old building, old field house, to the training room that we had before the tornado tore it, which was outstanding. But to get to this facility, it's, you know, I can look back and say, you know, you did have an impact. You did help, and that's all you could ask.
And then Radar, you took the torch over what year?
In 1981.
So 1981. Just a disclaimer. In 1974, I wasn't born. I was born in 75, and then in 81, I think I was in first grade. So you took over in 81.
Because in 74, I was just fixing to graduate high school.
So you took over, and of course you taught at Ruth Hill for years, of course, athletic trainer here, but generations and generations you've had a chance to impact.
Oh, I've had a bunch of kids, and Harry hadn't. I told him, for instance, when I said, when I start getting grandkids of kids that I taught, then it's time to retire. Yeah. And then I got one of the Ogletree grandkids. It was time to go. But what was so funny, I retired, and Dr. Barker called me and said, would you be interested in half day? I said, yeah, I'd be interested. He said, well, the state's going to have to approve it. I said, no problem. He said, I'll let you know something in June. I retired in November. The second week of December, he calls me and says, start work on Wednesday. I said, wait a minute. You said I had till June. He said, they've already approved it. So I only was retired 2 weeks before I came back to work. But, you know, but having this and all, my sister taught for 40 years. And I called her to tell her about it. And I said to her, I said, Biddy Ann, would you ever have thought that your little redneck brother from Dublin would ever have a building named after him on a school property? And she goes, nope. Wow. That was the end of that discussion.
Wow. Well, it's amazing. You know, I remember the day that we moved into what's now the old training room that was destroyed, you know, by the tornado. I remember back in 1999 we moved in that, and I remember how proud we all were of that particular facility. And then you fast forward, and you know, we have a lot of something that was very misfortunate in the tornado, but look what comes out of it. Look what comes out of it. It's pretty amazing.
I would have never thought when I got here that I would have been here as long as I have, but I married a girl from here. It's a great place to raise your kids. I mean, the community is so helpful, loving, and caring. I mean, I just couldn't tell you that there's not a better place in the state or in the United States to raise your kids in.
When you guys, I mean, you were trendsetters because we had trainers, athletic trainers, before anybody else. I mean, for years and years, and really, it wasn't really until the early 2000s, I think, that most school, and I say most because all still don't have them, but most school systems had athletic trainers.
Yeah, when Max asked me to come over here, and I was looking at schools to go. I didn't want to go into college, and I wanted to get into high school. And there wasn't anything. You know, Florida had some, Texas. I was looking up north to go up there, or Florida. And Max talked to me about coming over here, and that's when I realized there wasn't any other. There was no one else. And I remember one of the first games, we had a kid got hurt on the other team. And I took off sprinting out across the field, middle of the field, and got down with him, working with him. And then we carried him on the other sideline, and the game gets started, and I walked back around the end zone the other end, and I came back to Max, and he said, Mullins, what you doing? I said, the kid was hurt, Max. He just nodded his head and smiled, because that's what he wanted to do, is take care of the kids. No doubt. And we opened up the training room to anybody that wanted to come in, just like they did, Radar did, and John and do. Anybody want to come in. They had the kids from EC here, Heard County, everywhere. It didn't matter. because there wasn't anybody else to go to.
Yeah, and you know, your whole career built on student athlete health and well-being. And that's been the goal all along. And now to have this facility, and you mentioned John Wolf, and Jordan, to have this facility now that they can carry on that work. I mean, it's gotta mean something to you.
It's like the other day we were texting each other about something, John and Jordan and Radar and I the other night. And I told John and Jordan, y'all have taken this program much further than Radar and I could have ever imagined it would be. Because the equipment that they have now, it didn't exist. You know, we had ice, we had heat, we had whirlpool, we had massage, we had stretching, and those things. That was it. And it's a whole different ball game now. And all of them need to be commended. And to see they have the certified athlete trainers in all of 3 of the high schools and taking care of all of the kids, that is something I'm extremely proud of for this community.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that sets us apart. You know, somebody before I came over here was saying, you know, we need to get to why should parents care about this facility? You know? Why should they? And my answer to that is because it's about taking care of kids. You just said it. And if there's a place where you're going to have state of the art, you're going to have the best of the best, you're going to be a trendsetter, what better place? And for you guys, what better place to have your name on it? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. You know, one thing I really enjoy, really excited about, is what they have been doing with Jordan and her class. Use this as a lab for those kids for looking at maybe being athletic trainers or going into the health field. They'll be able to use this, and they are using it as a lab.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
Yes, sir. I know a certain superintendent's child that's in here first thing every morning. I hear John Wolf stories all the time, I can promise you.
I know some old guy's granddaughter's been in here a couple days this week too.
No doubt, no doubt. So, final thoughts from both of you, reflecting on a lifetime of service to this community, and now we sit here today. Tell me what you're thinking. Right on?
You know, sometimes you just don't have words to express how it is, and it's that way. I mean, I'm so honored, proud of what John and Jordan have done. Jordan came in right after me, and then John came on board, and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 between Harry and me. But other than that, you know, Harry, I'm still trying to find out who was the first Georgia high school athletic trainer. Yeah. Warren Morris is #1 on the certificates for the state, but he was at Georgia. And Jerry Ray was with the Falcons, and Bill McDonald, Jay Swoop, and all those guys. But I don't believe any of those ever worked in the high school setting. But, you know, talking about why the parents should care about, well, the doctors here, George Bowman joined out at the summit with Ballantyne, Powell, Gruber, Cushing, Kessler, McMath, and they got about 6 more, and I hadn't met them yet. Dr. Love, they got a Dr. Love and a Dr. Walker. Dr. Walker and Dr. Love come over here and help us a lot. But they started bump and bruise clinics on Saturdays. Saturday morning, we'd go over there, doctors would check them, x-ray them. Absolutely no cost to the parents, unless it was a surgery or something like that. But as far as, you know, they did it gratis, and then they would send them to their PTs, and then a couple of years later, they said, look, y'all just go back to the trainers. They do just as good a job as our PTs. So, you know, we save them money and help them out. You know, like Harry said, we treated athletes, faculty, community. I had a band girl come in, piccolo player, little finger. What, I mean, Never would have thought that, but we're able to help all the kids in the community, whether they're East Coweta, North Gate, or wherever. To us, you know, they all like the rivalries and all, that's great. But on Friday night, they're just kids. They're our kids. If they're in purple and gold or maroon and black or blue and gold, they're Coweta County kids. And we love them all.
Good. Well, I can't thank both of you enough. I can't thank Max enough for getting you over here, first off. And I probably shouldn't have called him Max. He was always Coach Bass. I can't thank him enough for his vision. You know, I think how many times we had the conversation, this very room we're sitting in, and you've told me about standing on that hill and the vision that he had for this place. And it, you know, had to go through some adversity, but it's certainly all coming together, and I look forward to seeing how this facility can continue that vision and keep making it better and better and better for generations to come. So thank y'all. Mr. Mullins?
Evan, there's one thing that I'm really proud of. When I came here in '74, I got 2 female student trainers to help me. Max said, Mullins, you don't need them. I said, Max, you have no idea what is fixing to happen and how it's going to change. Title IX just passed a couple of years before that. We could see things coming down in the future. But when I walk in this facility now, and Radar and I have had the opportunity to talk to them, and you see all of the female student trainers they have here, or you come here and you see all the female athletes that are getting treated. You know, it's come a long ways. It needed to come a long ways. And as an old grandfather that has granddaughters involved in this, it tickles me to see that and what they are doing, continue to doing, and focusing on the injuries for the females that the females are having, how to prevent those, how to treat those, and so many things that are going on. I think that's one of the things that really excites me the most, to see that going on and see how they're taking care of those students.
You know, what started as a vision to, let's be honest, help football team and help athletics, now is curricular. We're teaching classes in athletic training. We have kids that are going off and they're going into careers in medicine and athletic training and rehab and PT and all those things. So there's a ton of great work that has gone on, and a ton of lives that have been changed because of the vision that you guys had. I'm glad to be sitting in the room with you, and glad it's got your name on it. I can promise you that.
Thank you. Like we've both told the board, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Well, couldn't be 2 more deserving people, no doubt about that. Everybody, this is the Mullins Brantley Athletic Training Facility, and this is Mr. Harry. I call him Mr. Harry in Radar, and we hope you've enjoyed this segment. We'll be back shortly. What a great time today talking to Harry and Radar. You know, there's a couple of things that I hope you take away from today's episode. Number 1, we are committed to the well-being of our students and our student athletes. Number 2, we're going to build Noonan High back better than ever. It's been a great project so far, and I'm confident it's going to finish strong. And then thirdly, it's a great investment of your local tax dollars into our education system. Thank you for all the support that you provide us, and look forward to bringing you future updates in the future. Have a great day.